And welcome back, everyone, to Freaky Tales podcast on this Freaky Friday in the middle of September. First and foremost, before I introduce my special guest, who needs no introduction because he is a friend to my other podcast, but first time here, the Freaky Tales, I want to address something that people have been hitting me up about. Why have you been missing Freaky Tales? Why have you been canceling? Here's the problem. Many times, when I book people, it's usually 1 month ahead of time. And here's what I've been getting lately for some reason. People that live somewhat far and they're booked, they'll call me either the night before or the day of. And they'll tell me, I'm not going to be able to make it. Sorry. Many times they won't even ask to be rescheduled. They'll just say, I can't make it. I'm only addressing this simply because you fans deserve that. Those of you that are faithful watchers, those of you that are faithful subscribers, those of you that faithfully tune in every other week. I wish I could do this every week. But as of right now, unfortunately, I can't due to filming, due to recording, due to other things where I have to have a life myself. So when they usually cancel, I just will say, you know what, I'll make a post. We'll be back the following week. And that's pretty much what's been going on. For an example, if Johnny would have canceled, I wouldn't have came on here by myself. So I'm asking you guys to please be patient that I do other things other than just podcasts. Yes, I love Freaky Tales. I love sitting here and sharing, the paranormal ghost stories. But many times I get people that come on the Freaky Tales podcast page and they leave rude, disrespectful remarks, and I'm not going to accept that. So all I'm asking you is please be patient because I'm trying my hardest to bring you guys more podcasts. Like, for an example, we're here today. I already have somebody booked for next Friday. I already have somebody booked for the following Friday. And so 3 weeks in a row, I'm trying to do all of October for you guys. Not only for you guys, but for me, because I love this podcast. And I want to thank everybody who's on the live chat, everybody who subscribed, everybody who's tuned in, everybody who shared, everybody's going to call in later. I just want to thank you guys ahead of time because we would not be here if it wasn't for you. This would not be possible if it wasn't for you. Other than that, I released a post on the Freaky Tales podcast that said, if you're interested to come in on the Freaky Tales podcast, please email me and let me know that you're interested. You got to have at least 5 to 6 stories. 5 to 6 stories, pretty lengthy. Something that happened to you or something you've seen, something you witnessed, or something that was passed down to you by your family. I would love to have you come on here. If I feel that it's fit for you to be on Freaky Tales, then we'll talk, give you the address, give you a date, and we'll set it up and you'll be here. I would like to get you guys, the fans, involved in this. That way there will be no more cancellations. I can always call somebody if possible, maybe last minute if you're local. So go to freakytalespodcast@gmail.com. freakytalespodcast@gmail.com if you are interested in being on Freaky Tales podcast in the future. Once again, you got to have at least 5 to 6 stories and able to hold a conversation. So, and that's very important, able to hold a conversation. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce Freaky Tales podcast, Freaky Friday, Johnny D.
What's going on?
AKA Anton LaVey.
Anton John A.
Anton John A.
And
yeah.
You're Theo with the giant Cheeto.
That's right. He's here. He's here. You can move the mic up a little bit closer if you like.
Let's get that.
But once again, I want to thank everybody to tuned in. And you know what? Let me give a special shout out, even though she may never hear this. But today is Elvira, Mistress of the Dark's birthday. Happy birthday. She turned 70 years old. 70.
That was my crush when I was a kid, bro.
That was all of our crush.
Yeah.
That was all of our crush. So it really got me upset when I found out she was a redhead with blue eyes.
It don't even bother me, bro.
I know, but if I'm going to date her, you got to throw on the wig.
Oh, yeah.
You got to throw on.
You got to keep that shit on. You got to wake up 30 minutes early.
Yes.
Put your makeup on and throw that wig on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you know what? Before we get into it, I want to share something that I was watching last night, and this will kind of be a springboard into our conversation. You ever seen a movie called 1408?
Heard of it. I didn't see it yet.
It's with Samuel Jackson and John Cusack. I like John Cusack and I like Samuel L. Jackson. Both of them are great actors. Well, just to kind of set it up before we get into what we're going to get into, John Cusack is a guy that goes around visiting haunted houses, haunted apartments, haunted hotels, haunted locations in general. He's an author. He writes books, and in the movie, he kind of seems like he's somewhat out of it. He's kind of bored because he's starting to find out that a lot of these paranormal so-called hotels, houses, are not really haunted.
You know what? It's an older movie, right?
Correct.
Yeah, yes. I think I've seen it. The cover is like has a keyhole.
Yes,
I've seen it a long time ago.
Okay, when you get a chance, check it out again.
I'm gonna check it out again.
So people send him like postcards of hotels. They send him like, come check out our house, come check out our apartment. So he sees one that says 1408, and he calls it. And for those of you that haven't seen it, I recommend it. John Cusack, Samuel Jackson. He goes and he calls, and he said, I want to rent room 1408. They say it's not available. What about next week? It's not available. What about next month? It's not available. What about next year? And they hang up on him. So now he's wondering, like, okay, I'm going to go.
Yeah, he's intrigued.
He actually gets an attorney that if they don't rent him 1408, then he can sue the hotel.
Yeah.
So he's determined to go to 1408. So he goes into 1408, just to make a long story short, and he starts experiencing the paranormal activity. He starts seeing things, hearing things, feeling things, like everything that the five senses gives: hear, taste, touch, everything. And my question to you is, to get into it now, do you believe in the paranormal?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So with that, you can actually say that you've experienced it, or possibly.
I know I experienced it. It's hard to deny. You know what I'm saying? When you see something with your own two eyes,
right? It's
obvious that it's something that's unexplained. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I when I've seen things, it's always from, and I always have a hard time saying this word, but maybe you can help me. Visual vision.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I said it right.
Yeah, you said it right.
It's almost like I could look straight ahead, but when I stretch out my arm, I could still see my hand right here.
Yeah.
That's usually where I see everything. I never see things like face on like this.
Oh, no, I hear you. Same shit here.
You know, and many times, you think you want to see things, but you don't. The only time that I have seen things head on has been what we call shadow people or silhouettes, where you don't see a face, you just see a shape.
I see objects move.
Okay.
I seen like things go off that doesn't have any like power or battery to it that go off. I seen stuff like that. That's obvious that it's something. Some
right.
kind
One
of.
thing that it's been maybe a couple of years since I've seen that movie 1408, and one thing that really tripped me out, because I like to see movies, because me having a great photographic memory.
Yeah.
When I see things like a movie, I can't see it like next week or a month because I remember it. I can't even see it a year later, so I got to see it maybe 3 or 4 years later.
Yeah, like I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, so I saw this movie, and one of the things that really got me when he started experiencing that was the radio turned on. And that has happened to me.
That's a gangster right there.
Yeah, you know what? I have an old school clock. Clock that you still got to click to set the alarm on.
Yeah.
And when the alarm goes off, it's like my radio station, KRS 101. Okay. Usually hear oldies or whatnot. And it just turned on. So I was like, what the hell? Here's the crazy part before we get into one of your stories. One day, and this happened maybe about 12 years ago, around that time, I was in the kitchen, and there's somewhat of a distance between the kitchen and my room. And it happened that day. It went on. So I'm thinking, okay, somebody must have set the alarm. I don't know. I try to justify it somehow.
Oh, you tried? Yeah.
You're so I just turned it off. Okay. And you know what I did do, though? I unplugged it. So this time now, I'm walking towards my kitchen. I sit down, and I'm eating a bowl of cereal. And I remember that the same song came on while I'm sitting down. And now I'm terrified, because my door's open and I can see, my radio playing. I could hear my radio playing. So as I get up, the UPS knocks. So as I'm opening the door and I get the box or whatever, and I put it down, close it. Now I go back to my room and it's off, and it was unplugged.
Damn, man, that's crazy right there.
Yeah. So, but other than that, I didn't see anything. I did experience that. Tell us something that you might have experienced. You could share with the fans.
Well, recently, in my girl's bathroom, we have like this little toilet that the kids use, and it has like a little fake flush.
Yeah.
And that thing, it's been the water damaged. The batteries are like gone out of it.
Right.
And every once in a while, you'll hear that thing just flush. The noise go off, flush. And it always happens when I'm in there in my office. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody is in the office a little longer than usual. And you'll hear the flush. And it just go off when I'm sitting down.
Right. And you already know it's damaged.
No, I know what it is. I ignore it though. So when I ignore it, and there's this one time but it happens all the time. Like I'll be in the shower, I heard that shit flush, hear it flush. And then there was this one time where I'm sitting down, and I'm in I would say mid shit. Right. I was in the middle using the restroom and shit. Right. And then it flushed, and the light starts. And I'm like, oh, fuck this, dude. I'm like, hell no, I'm in the middle. I'm like, I can't just get up and bounce. I'm in the middle. I'm mid shit. Right. Like, that's real shit right there. I'm mid shit, real shit. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm about to get out this motherfucker right now. I'm not going to be in here that long. I'll leave. But that's the only time I ever got like really, really kind of like bothered.
Right.
I was like, damn, that shit was too obvious.
One thing that I've learned about watching a lot of like paranormal shows, even though a lot of them I don't believe in, because now that I've done a documentary and working on my second one, I know what editing can do. I know what we can do to make it look real.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes when I see some of these paranormal shows, I saw what they did.
Yeah, you see through it.
Yeah. So now I think it's amazing. One thing that I've learned, that whatever it is that is causing these electronics to either to move, to turn on, to shut off, or whatever, it's something. I just don't think it's a malfunction toy. For an example, you say the toilet, I say my radio, even though the radio was unplugged.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, one thing that I've known from a lot of people is that whenever they've gone somewhere where they might have heard that it was haunted,
yeah,
batteries on their flashlights go off really fast, or like they die really quick. It's almost like you got fresh pair of batteries, but it drains it somehow.
Yeah, more than usual.
Yeah, and I don't really understand how that is, why that is, or what it is that's causing it.
That's a force, dude.
Yeah,
that's a force draining the battery. It's not even that they're draining. They'll probably work after. It's just something there is making it short circuit and not work.
You know what? I never thought about that.
There's like a wave like stopping it from working. You know what I'm saying? I think that. I think that's what it is.
Right. You know what? I never heard that, because usually people just tell me my batteries died.
Yeah.
Or some people say when I go filming, and I'm trying to catch something, they always say, you know what, my battery on my camera died or whatnot. Oh, yeah. Something like what you say, either drains it, maybe for the time being.
Yeah, because it wants it. It don't want you to see it. Some of this paranormal shit don't want to be seen. Don't want to be seen on camera.
Right.
They're gonna, it's gonna show you itself, but it's not gonna. It don't want to be seen on camera. So you see a lot of malfunctioning, like you see on those shows, like you're talking about. Yeah. A lot of this shit malfunctions when they go in certain places. Even though a lot of it you can tell that it's not real because of the angles of the camera and how they do it. Right. Because you'll be like, oh, look, and they turn, and then all of a sudden something happens.
Right.
Or you can just see the little trickery they do.
Yeah, I was watching a paranormal show. Maybe you guys may understand that it was during the day. You guys may have seen that, I should say, during the day. And I noticed that all the footage, look, we have amazing film. And when I say film, I guess cameras.
Yeah.
I'm old school, so I'm going to always say film. Okay, amazing cameras on these cell phones. If you have a Samsung, it's amazing. If you have a iPhone, it's amazing. Mm-hmm. You could take amazing pictures. You could take amazing footage. Some of these footage is 4K.
Yeah.
I say that because 90% of the time on these paranormal activity shows, the footage is crap. When did you take that? You know what it looks like? Like they took those with a flip phone.
The Razor flip phone and shit. Remember that?
Yeah, so
the Hello Motos.
Yeah, so I'm thinking to myself, I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they will interview like 5 people with 5 different stories throughout the hour, and every single one of their footage it's horrible.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, it's all like tape quality.
Yeah, exactly. So I think to myself, okay, was that a ghost that was draining, the footage or what? Or is that just the footage you provided and we're supposed to buy that? Now, I've known people that have told me I've caught things, on my phone. Like I've just taken pictures like in the dark and stuff like that, caught stuff. But I have yet for people to send them to me. I had people email me. I got pictures. I got this. Never send me anything. Yeah. If you guys do have anything that you guys have caught on film, don't Google it, but something that's on for your phone, email it to me and we'll share it on the podcast. Yeah, I would love to, because I believe that there's something on the other side. When I say on the other side, maybe a different dimension, something paranormal, whether we want to call it evil or we want to call it good, there is something on the other side because everybody around the world has experienced these type of things, not just us.
And a lot of people, what they do is they kind of like, they see it, but they ignore it.
Yeah.
They see it, like I could say, like my mother, I think she hates when I talk about shit like this. Mm-hmm. She's like, shut up, you're being stupid. Shut up, don't talk about that. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about the house and shit like that, But I'm like, hey, I'm going to tell you what's going on so you're aware of it.
Right.
It's just some people don't want to believe it, but they see things and they've been through things.
And I'll tell you why I think people don't want to hear it. Some people have told me that the more you talk about it, the more you invite them in. Yeah, I don't necessarily believe that. Some people do. Some people do.
No, your eyes are open. You're open to it.
You're right. Other people have said watching certain horror movies invites them in.
Playing with the Ouija board invites them in. I think that's so.
I truly
think the Ouija board's like a channel.
I truly believe that too.
Yeah, you're opening a door to something.
I had somebody that wanted to come on the show. He watches Freaky Tales and he said, I want to bring my Ouija board. And honestly, I told him no. I told him no. And somebody, he actually, when I responded to him via email, he responded, well, you had a girl with a so-called voodoo doll there, a cursed doll there. And I said, well, look, whether it was cursed or not, to me, it was just a piece of plastic doll.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know for sure that board right there. You
don't need that board here.
Yeah.
and talk about it.
And you know what, Johnny, I don't know if you ever heard of this, but when I did my research, it wasn't meant for us to contact them. That board right there was meant for them on the other side to contact us.
I believe that too.
So that means, what we're doing? We're opening a portal.
Yeah. We're opening their door that they made for us.
And we don't know who's coming in.
Yeah.
Or what's coming in. Can you imagine now, you playing with it and then all of a sudden freaky things happen? Mm-hmm. How do you close that? You know what I'm saying?
You got to get Keanu Reeves over here.
Yeah, something like that.
Constantine shit around here.
Yeah, exactly, man. So you know what? But anyways, continue. I know you had other things you wanted to share. Now I'll elaborate.
I'll go back to like when I was, because I used to work for a supermarket for like years.
Okay.
And I'll throw one of the stories out. There was one.
Was this a warehouse or actual
this
supermarket?
Was a store, an actual supermarket. I'll throw one. I'll just say the city it was in. It was in Torrance.
Okay.
And I was working overnight, and I had a couple employees with me. And then there was like I had one of them making a beller, which is like wrapping up bell, like a beller.
Okay.
And then I had him making a bell, and then he's like, then he comes to me all frantic and shit. He was like, "Hey Johnny, I hear a baby crying back there, bro. Like, there's a baby outside. There's a kid outside." I'm like, "Ain't no kid outside, bro." Like, and then I go back, finish up what you're doing, come back, come see me. And he goes, "Dude, I'm not going back there, dude." I went back over there and I was wrapping the bell, and I hear it. I hear a crying kid. So I was like, okay, I go back there. I get everybody to the back. And I go, okay. So I open the rolling door and we walk outside. Mm-hmm. Nobody. We walked around the corner. Nobody. It's like, okay, man, go back to the floor. I'll finish up. And as I'm finishing up, I'm just finishing up the wires, tying it up. And I hear it. I hear it crying, like a kid,
like a newborn, or like maybe like a 1-year-old.
I would say like my kids now, because my kids are 3 and 5. So like my 3-year-old will cry. Like a kid that can walk. They can tell by the difference of a baby.
Yeah.
And kind of like a toddler. It was a toddler, bro.
Wow.
So I hear that shit. I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, there's something out there. So I call everybody. I go, we're going to walk around the whole building. I had 3 guys with me, and it was me. So there's 4 total. I go, you here, close the gate, and we're going to walk around the whole thing and see what the hell. And then right next to that store, there was like a kindergarten, like little building, like they had a play area in the back. It's a warehouse area.
Right.
If anybody knows, we used to be right next to Circuit City. If anybody knows where Circuit City used to be, they have like a little area. So I go, okay, we're gonna walk around the building, and we're walking. There's no. That's what I heard inside the store, and it felt like it was right out the rolling gate. That's how close it felt. So as we go outside, we walk around the whole building. Nothing. We walk around to the entrance to the store, and nothing. So that shit kind of threw me off. I was like, man, how could I hear that so close?
Right. You know, it's funny that you say children, because I had a friend that shared this with me not too long ago. His sister came and stayed with her 2 boys. I think one of them was like 2 and like 3 or something like that, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And he said that he's by himself. He's divorced. His sister stayed in the guest room. And they were there for maybe about a week. And he just said he just loved the fact that the house was full, you know, with his sister and the kids, because his kids are grown. Mm-hmm. So he loved that he can get up, check on the kids, see if they need anything, or when the kids get up early in the morning, they call him uncle or whatnot. He'll get them whatever they want.
Felt complete for that moment. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they left. They ended up leaving. They live out of town in a different state. And he said that for the first night, he began to cry.
Oh, shit.
Because he missed them so much.
Yeah.
But he said a couple of days later, this was the weird part. He said a couple of days later, he wakes up to hearing kids running in the hallway. So he said in his mind, maybe I was dreaming it, or maybe I wanted to hear that.
Damn it.
Okay. So he said for the moment, he goes, I just laid there. I didn't hear anything. He goes, I was scared to actually get up and open my door. Because once you open your door to the left is where my sister stayed. He says, so I just closed my eyes, and before you know it, I heard one more.
Oh, shit.
So he just said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get up, and I'm going to open the door. He goes, and what I did, for some crazy reason, I started calling out to them. Mm-hmm. Are you there? Like, are you there? I'll just say, you know, Freddie, you know, those are not their names, but I'll leave their names out of it. Freddie and Mike, are you there? And they weren't there. He goes back to bed. He said maybe about 30 minutes later, he wakes up gripping the bed. And I said, what happened? He goes, I started hearing them laugh playing in the room.
Oh, fuck. Damn it.
Yeah, you know, and he goes, and now I'm terrified because I called them out. He goes, so what I did, he said, I'm not going to lie to you. I went in my closet, grabbed my gun, got a flashlight, went in the room. He said, because I know they're not there. Mm-hmm. Turned on the light. Nothing was there. He said the only thing that looked a little bit odd, because I put some of their toys, because they were gonna be back for like, I guess one of the Thanksgiving or something like that.
Yeah, they had them prepared.
So, but one of the toys was on the floor.
Oh man!
And he said,
it was moved.
Yeah, it was moved, and he was like, so I put it back, turned off the light, went back to bed. He goes, went back to bed fine. About an hour later, same thing. He said, this is the one that woke him up, Uncle.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Okay, so what he did, started down on his sister. Hey, please tell me that Freddie and Mike are there. Yeah, why? Okay. Listen, I want you to hear something. Okay, this is the crazy part. Put the sister on the speaker. He heard the kids running in the hallway. Uncle, and she says, oh my God, what was that? She goes, that's what I'm hearing.
Damn it.
Okay.
Yeah, that shit.
So the sister, of course, told him, you know, pray and et cetera. And he told me, you know, I'm not a saint. I don't go to church or anything like that. He goes, but I did pray, and I was able to go back to sleep. He said the next morning when I got up, I went to the room, and that same toy was on the floor.
Maybe it's like some spirit taking their form to try to make it.
That's what I believe.
You know what I'm saying? So I think like maybe, yeah, because you know how you see that, like you see them, they're like evil or not evil. They're just trying to take the form so they can.
Yes.
Yeah, get his attention or something.
Now, there's a movie that somebody recommended. It's a couple that they get married. They have a little boy. And when they get married, they're going home, I guess. They get into the freeway. The little boy comes out of the car seat. They get into a car crash. He flies through the window and he dies. Okay? Well, it speeds up to the future. A couple of years later, the dad and the mom are now divorced because they lost a kid. Mm-hmm. Okay, I forgot where I believe it was on Netflix. When I find out the movie, I'll put it in the comment section once this video is up. And it was actually, it looked like somewhat of a low budget film, but very, very well put together.
I think I know what it is. I don't remember the name.
And he goes back to the house because the people that he was renting the house to, where they lived with the boy, moved out overnight. So he went in, and then before you know it, he runs into his son.
That man.
You know, so my thing is this: when people put together these type of projects, I think sometimes they hear it from someone, or they experience it themselves, and they put it on film for people to see.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
these are stories, you know, like brought to them, and then it grabs their attention, and they just use it. It's based on a true story. You know what I'm saying? These are all based on films.
Alex, let's do this. Can you put on the live chat? Do you believe in the paranormal? I know people are watching. Are going to say yes because they're subscribed, but you'll be surprised how many skeptics we have watching. So do you believe in the paranormal? Yes or no, and go from there. Okay. I would like to.
Or is it a glitch in the matrix?
Yes, I just like to get people involved. Now, I know in the movie The Blair Witch Project, I watched it one time because I listened to the hype. I don't know if you've seen that movie, The Blair Witch Project.
I seen it when it came out.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype in the movie, so I went to go see it. And one thing that stood out to me was when they heard children playing in the woods at night. And isn't it funny that a lot of these stories that I hear have to do with children? Like, for an example, that little toilet. You know, that was a child's toilet.
Yeah, it's a child's toilet.
Yeah.
Yep.
And many times, a lot of people, children, have these imaginary friends. You know, and
they see shit we don't see.
Exactly. And I know many of you watching can understand, because I know somebody left a comment, whether you were being sarcastic or not. I posted up something about a Ouija board, and they said you have to be 21 because the average age to play with the Ouija board is 8 years old. Okay, but you have to be 21 to buy liquor.
Yeah,
but you can be 8 years old to summon demons.
Yep, exactly.
And somebody said, now I know where my daughter or my little sister or something like that got her imaginary friend. I've had friends that their daughters had imaginary friends, to the point where the mom walks in on them, who are you talking to? And the chair's still moving, empty.
Yeah, that's big.
So now, working at that grocery store, let's go back to that. You said you heard it.
Yeah, I heard it.
Was it more than once that you hear it?
No, I heard it I'm wrapping the bell up and I hear it. I hear the crying and crying and crying. I'm like, bullshit. I thought these fools were like,
playing a game.
You think, playing a game or pushing a button or had a phone or something.
Right.
But there was like, I'm like, it's nothing. And they're all the way over there, and they're all the way on the aisles working and shit. So I'm like, nah, they can't do that. They're not that creative. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm like, nah, man, that shit was weird. And I'm like, what? I put one and two together, right? So I'm like, there's that little like day center right there. I go, damn, do you think something ever happened there? You know, because shit happens, right? A kid could have got hurt, or maybe a kid passed away there.
Yeah.
And it was like a spirit that was just like walking around the building. Just basically calling out just to get someone's attention. Or maybe it was a spirit trying to, like you said, because I think a lot of spirits use child form to get your attention, or to make you worry, or to kind of like make it easier to grab your attention.
Right.
Because it's easier for a child. You're not as scared as a child. But fuck, children are scary, bro, when they're ghosts.
I know. Yeah, I know.
You don't know what to expect.
There's a home that a close friend owns, okay? And his daughter used to always see a little boy, a little white kid, and she used to always say he looked old. He looked old.
Benjamin Button.
When what happened was that when the dad asked her, what do you mean he looked old if he was a kid? Well, she was saying that the clothes he was wearing were like yeah. he was old, like old times, I guess. So one day she was reading a book from school, and she said, that's what he looks like. He had like a round hat, so like overalls.
Yeah, that's like the suspenders.
A button-up shirt, and he was barefooted. But this kid in the book was going fishing. But she said that's what he looked like, except he wasn't going fishing. So he looked like, I don't know, like he lived in the country, maybe in the 50s. I don't know.
His wardrobe was back in the days.
So she said she saw him all the time, you know, and he would always come to their backyard, and I was like, hi. So the dad said, you can actually hear him? Yeah, he's my friend. Ask him his name. She never got his name, okay? here's the deal. What a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people do know, you can actually do the history of your home.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can do the history, you know, and if you ask your landlord, whether it's a condo, whether it's an apartment, whether it's a house, by law, they have to tell you.
They have to tell you, and plus there's history on your property. You got to pay for it to get a little deeper into the history on your house, but you could look into the. So
the dad found out that before their backyard was fenced off, every house just had an open house, and there was like a little lake. Not much, but like a little lake. And he found out that there was a little boy that was drowned.
Drowned there, yeah.
Yeah. So he believed that was a little boy that was coming home, but couldn't go in, I guess, because he wasn't welcomed. They always say that the only way they can come in is if you
let them.
If you let them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Trying to find his way home.
Yeah, trying to find his way home. So now, it leads me to this. Do you believe that... Here are the two popular answers, or two popular questions. Do you believe in heaven or hell, or is there an in-between? Some people believe that some people are not ready to go to heaven. Some people believe they're not ready to go to hell, or we won't even use heaven or hell. They're just not ready to move on. They're still here, or they don't know they're dead.
I believe in purgatory.
Okay.
I think there's a middle ground. I think there's where like they're weighing your good and your bad. Mm-hmm. I think there is that. I don't have no doubt on that.
Okay. Now, here's the thing though. We don't know how long that is though.
Yeah.
We don't know how long that is, and obviously, I would like to believe in a different dimension. There is no time. So they're just waiting, and it could be an eternity because there is no time. Now, my question to you is this, that say that they have visited you. Say a cousin, just for some reason. I'll just, a hypothetical scenario. Yeah. He comes to visit you, and then you say, you know, my cousin, he passed away, tragic accident. I know it's him. When he came in, you know, the song on the stereo played his song. There's no coincidence.
Yeah, that's like obvious coincidence. Right. Like it's not a coincidence.
Now let's just say that he was in purgatory, and now he's gone up to heaven. Let's just say that. Mm-hmm. What's to stop something else from perpetrating your cousin?
Nothing. Depending, it's like we said, if someone taking what they know from your cousin,
yes,
and using it to like manipulate you to believing that it's your right. cousin, your family member, or whatever. Now,
having shared that experience of that scenario,
yeah,
shouldn't we be not so open to receive them?
Like I think some ghosts or some entities are not like there to harm you, or they're trying to find. I think once you find that it's like you feel that like bad energy, then I think you should worry about it. Mm-hmm. Like, cause I felt energies where I saw things move that shouldn't move. I see like my phone from this fall off a table or something when there's no way it can fall off the table.
Right.
So I'm like, but that's just trying to get my attention. Now, if my fucking phone gets thrown at me or something negative, then I'll worry. Okay. I don't look at it as bad right away.
Okay.
I take it like, oh shit, did you just see that? I bet you see that shit? Am I tripping?
Right.
Did I drink too much? Am I high?
Right.
You know, like,
right.
You see that? Yeah, we've seen that.
You know, I remember my mother playing around. Used to always tell me, when I pass away, I'm going to come back to visit you. And I'm going to be real with you, Johnny. I would say, don't do that. I would say, don't do that. And I said, because now that you said that, we don't know what's listening.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
You know, we don't know what's listening. Say you can't come back. Now, whatever heard is going to come in and say, I'm your mother.
Yeah. They're waiting.
They're waiting. They're waiting. So all I'm saying with that is don't be so much in a rush to believe that that's possibly a loved one. Mm-hmm. You know.
No, I get what you're saying.
You know, because, you know, we don't know what it is. We don't know if it's evil. We don't know if it's good. We just don't know if it's an energy. We don't know if it's whatever, you know. So, but now I know you had another, you shared two episodes, well, two things that happened to you.
Yeah, I read another one from the same thing, but a different store. It was one in downtown, like in downtown area.
And how long were you working before you experienced this?
That was probably, this one I heard is probably like, I would say like 10 to 15 years ago. It's a while ago. And I didn't experience it. When I came in the morning, they told me what happened, and then I just reviewed the camera, and I just saw something that didn't make no sense.
Yeah.
It was there was an associate that older fellow, and he wanted to make a little extra money. He was real. I think he was like I don't know if it was a priest for a Catholic church, or he was like trying to be a priest.
Okay.
But he wanted to get a couple days in to make some extra money. So we hired him, and then he was working overnight. And this is probably like 2 weeks. He probably worked there for like 2 weeks, and then one night, I think it had to be a Wednesday because he only worked Wednesday nights. It was a Wednesday night. He was working on a paper towel aisle, stock the light goods. He's stocking, and he said well, let me start from the beginning. What this guy just when something happened to him, and he just exited the store, and this store is gated. So when he exited, he had to go out. He exited outside, and he had to hop the fence. So that's why I want to throw that out there before I continue off.
Right.
When you exit that building, you have to hop a fence, and it's gated with barbed wire, but not barbed wire. It has the metal, curved, right on top. So he had to exit. Okay. While when I talked to the guy the following day, he said he was standing on that aisle, working, stocking, and he's standing straight. He's standing straight in front of the camera, and he said something fucking grabbed his shoulders and just turned his ass around. So and then I was like, "What?" He's like, "Something grabbed me, and I don't know what it was. I quit. I'm not gonna come back no more."
And this was the guy that was studying to be a priest.
Yeah, he's like, he quit. He left his car and everything. He fucking left without his car. He jumped down pallets and jumped over the fence when I reviewed the camera.
Really?
When you look at the camera, it showed him like this, stalking, and he stops, stands still, and it's like this fool did like a Chris Brown turn and shit. Just, he turned around like that, bam, and stopped.
Right.
And it looked like a sick ass dance move, but he's old, bro. He can't do this shit.
Right.
He did it too quick, bam, and just stood there, and he fucking stood there for a while. And you see him just bone out. He boned out, and they had to open the door and let him out. See,
people like that, these that are older, that the thing that trips me out about that story is that this was a religious man.
Yeah, he was a religious man.
And for him to be that terrified, we're not saying that you're not allowed to be terrified, but it kind of reminds me of something that somebody sent me not too long ago. I believe this was in Brazil or Colombia. Supposedly, I don't know if you saw that video. It was trending for a while. A guy that was working out at the gym, and he saw a ball move, and he saw something else move. This was a video floating around on social media. It could be, again, I know editing now, so I know how things could be done. I don't know if this is real or fake. I thought it looked real. A ball moved, and then something else moved. So he got so scared that he picked up his bag, and on his way out, something grabbed him from the front, from his leg, and drug him. And you could see him being dragged. I just thought, since there were no cuts, no angles, from this angle, then going this, I thought it looked real.
Yeah.
And we're just,